Mexico, Tijuana is working on pure water issues. They've had council persons visit Oceanside, and I just thought that was amazing. So they're interested in the future, how it can possibly help with AI issues. That's one thing. We have to be very cautious how we talk about it as drinking water, though, I think. And good luck. We're learning to do that better. Keep up those good efforts and continuing good communication with Tijuana. I mean, this is proving what good communication is about. So good luck on that effort. Salary ordinance issues. I mentioned for the first time about a week ago. I hope you can, if not this year, then next year, you can really be working on the concept that if our city workers take a $50 cut in pay each month, that's $600 a year. That's a savings of over almost $2 million a year if we have like 3,000 plus staff workers. That's a lot in budget savings. Really consider that. Learn to take one for the team, and that it's okay. There can be times we can't do that. We may be at a time we can. Next year may not, but let's hope we can. To go on, item 100 is, well, let me see, 101 is this is an item that is dealing with issues of working on better tech accountability and how important that is. And when you address better tech accountability, you're actually addressing our best practices and asking to end genocide, basically. And that's why I do the work I do, so we can end genocide and more. And with the Valencia Park issues, I'll talk about later. Thank you.
Next is Cynthia, if I can have her to the microphone. He is our translator here. We'll be translating Cynthia from French to English. Cynthia is speaking on item 50. If you can please let her know that she'll have 1 minute for her comments and then 1 minute for your translation. Thank you, Gary, for being here.
You're welcome. Good morning, Council. Bonjour Cynthia, donc vous avez uniquement 1 minute donc pour votre commentaire. Donc essayez d'être bref avec des phrases très courtes s'il te plaît.
Ok, d'accord. Bonjour, je m'appelle Cynthia Chonda, je fais partie du groupe d'action étudiant pour les immigrants et réfugiés d'Afrique de l'Ouest. Mon témoignage aujourd'hui complète mon témoignage écrit. Au nom des immigrants et réfugiés originaires d'Afrique de l'Ouest vivant à San Diego, nous exprimons notre opposition à l'article 50 de l'approbation des modifications proposées. Donc que les frais d'appel environnementaux demeurent fixés à $2,380. Ce montant est un obstacle insurmontable pour le peuple marginalisé. Pour plusieurs membres de notre communauté, cette somme peut représenter plus d'1 mois de loyer ou plusieurs semaines de salaire. Notre communauté est souvent confrontée à des défis économiques, linguistiques et administratifs. Leur imposer des frais aussi relevés semble exclure leur participation citoyenne. Cela révèle comment cette politique est discriminatoire dans ses effets. Le droit de contester une décision gouvernementale ne devrait jamais dépendre de la capacité financière d'un individu. Nous demandons respectueusement au conseil municipal de premièrement réduire ses frais à un montant raisonnable et accessible à tous et aussi garantir que tous les résidents de San Diego, indépendamment de leur revenu ou de leur origine, puissent exercer pleinement leur droit de participer aux décisions.
Good morning, my name is Cynthia, and I will represent the student refugees, right, from the refugees in San Diego. So I don't know why it is so difficult for the council to understand how difficult it is for immigrants who come here, and the amount that they require to pay, it's exorbitant, so it's really expensive, and it's more like a amount of rent for us. I don't know why immigrants should it's the council could reduce this fee, so for something more affordable for us, that will be better, and we shouldn't have to to be a buy, not a buy. We shouldn't have like to fight like to let our right knows. So in this situation, so thank you.
Thank you. Extra time was allowed for the translation. Thank you so much, Gary, for coming down. Thank you, Cynthia, for your comments. 8700, if you can please unmute and let me know which item or items you wish to speak to.
Thank you. Only 51, please.
Please proceed.
Yes to the Fifth Amendment for North City Pure Water Facility and Demonstration Pure Water Facility with Trussell Technologies. I celebrate this statement. NCPWF will be the first full-scale facility in the world using 5 advanced water treatment processes in sequence. It's in the world with this amazing project. That's 5 stars, Trussell. Thank you so much for 20 years, and we appreciate you, and we get through all the phases. Thank you
Your
again,
time has
Trussell.
concluded. The 5-minute timer also concluded. There were 5 speakers in the queue with Joy. There are 4 speakers now. No additional speakers will be taken. Ernie Casco, please let us know which item or items you wish to speak to.
Yes, items, all the items, and retaliation for speaking on all the items, especially 30.
30 is part of the proclamation, so you cannot speak to 30. You can speak on the items within the consent agenda.
Okay, Ernie Casto. In all the items trying to speak, I experienced retaliation myself. Serious injuries, assaults, poisoned with a biohazard, 2 more times by Big Pharma, poisoned into the healthcare system. This is genocide in America, shamefully over the commercialization of a public park and land, Torrey Pines Glider Park. I'm dying with stage 4 cancer, and that's now in remission, but you haven't killed my voice. In concern of Torrey Pines Glider Park ongoing dispute, the Dear Ernie letter I received from the CPP is completely unacceptable. It fails to address serious allegations made to the City Council, Joe LaCava, San Diego Police Department itself. It completely ignores the victim and witnesses and the ongoing criminal activity and public safety concerns at Torrey Pines Glider Park. My first question is, where are the police reports? Residents should never be forced to sign an access pass and waiver under threat of violence. I received unanimous letter of support from the Council, the La Jolla Shores Association, the University Community Planning Group to stop this crime. Yet, court, I'm asking 3 things from the City Council to restore the park to the people and protect us from future abuse. First thing, where are the police reports of the victim and witnesses? Let's see them. Second, stop the illegal collection of public fundings into private accounts with a full city audit of Torrey Pines Glider Park. Third, restore lawful public access to ensure no one is forced into signing waivers. It's time to enforce American law, not administrative law, and stand up for our constitutional recreational rights and freedoms and implement the San Diego recreational waiver that ends this.
Next is Hector, if you can please unmute.
I'd like to speak to 50, 51, and 52.
Thank you. You'll have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
So on item 50, the Coastal Commission. The Coastal Commission has done us a lot of harm. Takes a lot of time to get them to approve things, and they're just like brought a lot of hurt on our city. Gonna build skyscrapers by the beach. We should just ignore the coastal commission as much as we can. Just tell them we're gonna do it. We can do our own coastal, decisions. We love the coast, we love our coast, we know our coast. We don't need them talking, it's just another bureaucracy with a democratic scam going on in our state. And then, on the 51, on the pure water, I think it's good that Mexico is looking for pure water. I say we just dam up the border crossing and let them deal with the sewage water. It'll put a fire under their ass. They can smell some of that Mexican shit they're giving us. The pure water, I think we should do audits every month and publish them at the city council. Because you know this is going to be a huge overrun. This is like, we can't even handle parking at the zoo, let alone the billions of dollars it's going to cost us. We need to keep an eye on this. And the lady that runs it, she's not tough enough. She's like looking for her partners. We need somebody who's just tough. We ain't gonna buy no extras. She could get tough. Just think if she has a 15-year-old daughter and the guy's looking for money, looking to take her out on a date, he's 28, Italian guy with a hairy chest and gold chains. She'd be saying, hell no, you ain't taking her out. That's what she's got to say with the cost overruns. The contractor's she's an easy mark for the contractors. It's not a committee saying no more overruns. They're going to make up a lot of stuff. And then the pay thing, 52 is pay. Hey, times are tough, man. We're giving a 10% raise. We need to weed out the employees. Anybody that celebrated Charlie Kirk's death needs to leave. We ain't gonna pay them nothing. We never researched the employees that celebrated his death. And we'll have a bounty. If you turn in one of the employees who celebrated this thing, we'll give you $1,000. And that person needs to go. There's a bunch of them on the city payroll. Those guys need to go. Whatever color their hair is, but whatever their deal is, it's probably something to do with the Alphabet crew celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. So the Alphabet is hopefully it's heading downhill, man. Hopefully they'll learn how to spell, man.
Thank you. If you raise your hand after the 5-minute timer, you will not be taken, but you can definitely submit comments at cityclerk@sandiego.gov. Judy Strang, if you can please unmute and let me know which item or items you wish to speak to.
Yes, good morning. I'd like to speak to S503 regarding the First Amendment to the Employee Assistance Program here at the city that's being provided to us by he recognizes how important it is to the employees. That was not the case 40 years ago, so it's about time we have recognized over the last several decades how valuable it is to help our employees with their alcohol and drug problems. Those problems affect the bottom line of the city. They affect job performance and productivity, and nothing more so than impaired cognitive function, because it creates bad decision making, missed deadlines, gives sloppy work, and decreased efficiency. And nothing so much as someone who's under the influence of marijuana. So thank you to this group.
Thank you. The speaker is Jennifer Bennett. Please begin.
Hi, I'm John Hogan here speaking from Jennifer Bennett, who happily just on behalf of the community of Redwood Village and the Eastern Area Community Planning Group, we ask for the approval of funds for the Stringview Drive green infrastructure improvements for the health and safety of our communities. This is item 100. We'd like to thank the council, District 9 Rep. Shawnee Rivera, and all the city staff for their consideration and work on this project. We appreciate it very much. It's been many years that we've been advocating for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That does conclude public comment on the consent agenda.
All right, thank you, City Clerk and Deputy Clerk, for wrapping up. With that, let's turn it over to the council members for any questions, comments, and entertain a motion. We'll start with Council Member Hilo Rivera.
All right. Thank you, Council President. I will move approval of the consent agenda. I just wanted to speak briefly to item 100. Authorizes the Stormwater Department to accept and appropriate funding from the California Department of Housing and Community Development 2024 Disaster Recovery Infrastructure MIT RIPP Fund. So that very long, unwieldy title is really is a project that's going to directly improve the quality of life for Redwood Village residents in my district and beyond. Streamview Drive has been, thanks to our community leaders, Lynn, Bettina, and Jennifer, for community organizing work on this and never allowing the city and my office to forget that this is important and needs to get done. Streamview Drive has been a long overdue project, just like this, one that combines blue-green infrastructure and supports our efforts to be climate resilient. It's situated just upstream and tributary to Choyas Creek, which is an urban waterway that was impacted during the severe rainstorms in 2024. And this project will improve the capture and conveyance of urban runoff along Streamview Drive and install new stormwater treatment systems within the 258-acre watershed. There are some really great components of this, including an underground trash capture vault, underground stormwater detention vault, and multi-use treatment area vault. Together, they will help reduce pollutant levels such as trash, sediment, zinc, and other contaminants entering Choyas Creek. Additionally, the detention vault will help manage stormwater by reducing peak flows into the creek. So these are smart investments. They're the type of things that the city should keep pursuing as we move forward. I want to say thank you again to our community leaders for their advocacy on this and the city workers who helped make this happen. Council President, I assume you probably understood everything that I said better than I did, but that.
And we'll go next to Council Member Whitburn.
Thank you, Council President. I'm happy to second the motion to approve the consent agenda. Just note how pleased I am with item 101, which is the agreement with Civic San Diego for construction of the B Street pedestrian corridor project downtown. This is a project that has been decades in the making. It's going to provide much needed pedestrian improvements. It'll make it easier for people to access safety around the Santa Fe Depot for downtown alike. This action advances our goals of improving mobility. Thank city staff and Civic San Diego for all their work in moving this project towards construction. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, sir. So we have a motion by Councilmember Whitburn to move the consent items. I don't see anybody else on the line. So Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
I have set up the voting system. Please cast your vote.
Councilmember Hilo Rivera, didn't record if you did. There we go.
Thank you. The consent agenda passes unanimously 6-0 with council districts 4, 5, 7, and 8 absent.
All right. Thank you. So with that, do we have any comments from the mayor's office, city council members, city attorney, independent budget analyst, or city clerk? Not seeing any requests. We will now take up the non-agenda public comment. Council members respect and appreciate the public's input and are fully committed to protecting every participant's free speech rights at council and committee meetings. Clerk, please proceed with public comment.
Per Rule 2.7, non-agenda public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on items that are not on the agenda but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. Please note, if there are 8 or more speakers on a single topic, the maximum time for the topic will be 6.
Okay, good morning, Councilman and women. So it was years ago, my family put the mafia on me to squash any trace of anything I was calling out in my family. It had nothing to do with the mafia. That was my family to that to me. They hijacked my mom's younger brother's position at the Department of Homeland Security over our country's cybersecurity networks. Over time, that enabled them hijacking our federal government agencies. I say now, not their fault. Of course they'd have taken the keys to our country if they were able to. I blame those in all along the way. My civil rights and liberties violated in the grossest ways you could imagine. My human rights grossly violated. With our government agencies used against us. Chinese espionage. Edward Speaks on YouTube, where I spoke right here at this microphone. That has led to genocide. The debt of trillions with the Chinese. How dare they hand our country over, but the deal of genocide to wipe out the best of our country so that the best of their best could come in. They're recruiting them from the Department of Homeland Security's database. But the best this country has is slaughtering them in mass numbers. So the best of the Chinese can come in. How dare they? Now, our local leaders, our community needs to stand up that this is our country. This is our livelihoods. Our country's future is at stake. Our lives are at stake. That I urge you, every one of you, and folk in the community, that it's time to quit going along with this, acting like it's not going along, running from it, for everybody to fight together. Stand up for our country, for the people, by the people.
Thank you. That does conclude your time. Our next speaker is allegedly Audrey.
It's interesting people get offended when I talk about pedophiles. Makes me wonder if you guys are pedophiles, because like to be offended to talk, it should be that you're offended that that happens, that you shouldn't want children to be raped or sexually assaulted, not promoting it and glorifying it as a sexual preference, and that as long as a pedophile is living its authentic life and being their authentic selves, then those children don't matter. I'll always say you care about all people. I would think it's suffice to say that you don't care about victims, that you creating them, and you consider me talking about pedophiles hate speech or anti-Semitic or homophobic or, I'm a bigot or racist, whatever, you know what I mean? All the gaslighting names. So you're willing to gaslight me for talking about it and hating it, being a victim of it, and then it's like you want to twist what I'm saying. Well, right there, right in front of us, minor attracted person, as if I'm asking you to not accept a certain community. But I guess, why are we accepting pedophilia as okay when you do have children? That is a question I do have. That doesn't make sense to me, and I would say that competency is in question when you can have children and promote that your child could potentially be abused. That doesn't make that make sense.
That concludes your time. Our next speaker is Liam Medvedyer. Please come forward.
Good morning. Next minute. My name is Liam Medvedyer. I'm a 14-year-old from District 7. Should terminate its contract with Flock Safety because it has been proven time and time again in San Diego and across the country that we cannot govern it effectively. Consider this. Within the first 3 weeks of operation, we had 12,914 unauthorized searches. In 2024 alone, STPD transferred data to federal agencies 62 times in apparent violation of California state law. When the city's own Privacy Advisory Board recommended shutting this program down, this council overrode that 5-3. Moreover, STPD's data shows that 100 of the 140 aggregated database searches run In 2024, only 0.2% actually assisted investigations. So this is a reflection of the fatal shortcomings within Flock technology. El Cajon is being sued by the Attorney General for sharing data illegally. Ventura County logged over 364,000 illegal data searches. One misconfigured camera in Mountain View exposed it to over 250 agencies. And in San Francisco, not so far from us, it has been searched 1.6 million times by people without the legal authority to do so. And so when we have the same failure repeating across multiple jurisdictions, we have to ask, is it a failure of implementation? And I'd say no, it's a failure of the architecture. If we look at Flock, it's built to make sharing very easy and accountability very difficult. And I personally believe that no policy this council passes can possibly change what the system is built to do. And so this is why reform is not the answer, because we cannot regulate our way around a system or a structural flaw. And so that's the only response that is proportional to this, that has failed many times in many places, to end it. San Diego does not have to choose between public safety and governance, because a government that sacrifices one to protect the other actually protects neither. Thank you for listening.
Good job. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. Our next speaker is Anthony Rouse.
For him.
Where's Waldo von Wilberg? One more time, she's not here. And it gets really frustrating to know that we're paying council members to address them. I don't know if she's on official business. It hasn't been spoken if she is. And again, it is really frustrating to see empty seats when they're getting paid very well to not be listening to us. I brought these 3 flowers. I want to give them to the 3 members of City Council that voted for Flock. I know that I'm obviously against Flock, but the reason why I got you these flowers is because 7 months ago when you initially voted for Flock, if you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have started paying attention. 7 months ago, I didn't know a single one of your names. I didn't know a single one of your positions on a plethora of issues. In that time, I've gotten to know not only the issues, I've gotten to know where you stand on many of these issues, and I've gotten to learn a ton in that process. So it inadvertently woke a sleeping giant in me, and it inadvertently woke a sleeping giant in this city. And our civic participation is now at full throttle, or at least mine is. And I'm one of the privileged few who can come here on a regular basis, who can afford to park, who can afford to take time off work. Not everyone can do that. And that's why I'm here routinely to represent this position. And even though I fundamentally disagree with y'all, I still got love for y'all. I agree with what Joyce Inyata said when she says, love to all. And so again, even though I disagree, I actually came yesterday with the intention of issuing Robocomp an apology. Because 7 months ago when I called you out for not being present, I didn't know that you were on paternity leave. Kind of an excuse, or at least would give us a reason as to why she's not here right now, so that we could at least know why she isn't present and helping us make the decisions that we need. I also wanted to mention the Supreme Court's decision yesterday. I wanted to read this to you. I read it to those that were present, but they ruled yesterday that law enforcement officials used a geofence warrant.
Thank you. That does conclude your time.
Basically, they ruled that...
that does conclude your time.
I'll explain it tomorrow. Thank you.
I've started the 5-minute timer in council chambers, and we will now turn to virtual comments. We will begin with Blair Beekman. Blair, please begin.
Hi, Blair Beekman. Thanks for the meeting today. Thanks a lot for the words of Tony. In the past year, our councilpersons have really learned the art form of ducking out of meetings, and especially with Councilperson von Wilberg in the campaign. All respect for her campaign that I hope she can win. I think she would be better served by staying at council meetings instead of always leaving now. And her committee meetings. I think she would have a better campaign if she was at her regular meetings. We would respect her a lot more. I'm starting to disrespect what she's doing. It's becoming aggravating. This was an important day she was supposed to be here. So I'm upset. She's got to start returning to meetings more regularly, and same with our other council persons. I also, and thanks as always for the words of Anthony, by the way. I wanted to comment, the ideas of, stormwater issues. We had worries the past few years, so we couldn't talk as more openly and clearly as we could have. It's been a few years now. Can we please to talk about the depth of what our surveillance technology in our parks and rec centers is actually doing? Can we be more specific in that instead of, it's a euphemism you guys are using, let's really move past the euphemism, please. It's safe. Please trust it. Don't be fearful. Clear conversation is good. There's also concepts of, the city of Oakland has a love life philosophy that I hope we can help, that they don't want to do harm in their decision making. I think it can help a lot. And to comment on AOPR use in real time, police are confused. They don't quite know the rules of the road and when they can and can't talk about their data tech. And we have to learn to have that open conversation so we can. That's what I keep trying to say at this time. We have to have an open conversation, not a closed conversation.
Thank you, that does conclude your time. Our next speaker is Becky Rapp. Please begin.
Good morning. For greater transparency and accountability in San Diego's marijuana permitting program. 7 years ago, Rancho Bernardo residents spent a significant. We attended hearings, submitted comments, and carefully evaluated the applicant. But today, if you visit the city's website, the public permit still identifies as the original permit holder, not the business that is now actually holding the permit. We stumbled across industry publications that reported that the Cake House has acquired 12 existing pot shop permits in San Diego, yet they are not updated on the city's website. That raises a simple question. Why is it easier to learn who controls a city-issued marijuana permit from an industry publication than from the city's own website? If ownership changes, if a permit is transferred, or if a new company takes control of a pot shop, the public shouldn't have to search through corporate records, state databases, or trade publications to find that information. The community's interest doesn't end when the permit is approved. In many ways, that's when transparency becomes even more important. So I urge the city to maintain an up-to-date, publicly accessible database holders and current operators, ownership changes and permit transfers for every pot shop in the region. Residents deserve to know who is operating these businesses throughout the life of the permit, not just on the day it was approved. Public participation should be matched by public transparency. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is a caller with the last four digits 7234. Please begin.
Good afternoon, San Diego City Council. My name is Terry Ann Skelly. I'm a parent and public health educator, and I am a planning group member as well. When reviewing air quality in the city of San Diego and the role of tobacco-related disease and death, it is very important to address disparities. The overall conclusion that tobacco takes a higher toll on less advantaged people is not new, but needs to be carefully regarded when policies regarding smoking and vaping are considered. Here in California, Stan Glass, faculty member at the University of California, San Francisco, UCSF, their School of Medicine in the Division of Cardiology stated, and I quote, "It's important to recognize the growing role of cannabis in undermining tobacco control and contributing to health disparities, especially given the prevalence of tobacco and cannabis co-use in youth and young adults, and the social, economic, use of marijuana or tobacco use, which work on behalf of 18 to 30-year-olds, and those of us who are parent group of that specific age group. protecting all city residents from exposure to secondhand tobacco and cannabis smoke in all indoor and outdoor settings should be a priority. Reducing the availability and advertising related to tobacco and marijuana should be a priority of our county. And summer 2026 would be the best time for our city and county to consider an emergency ban of marijuana and tobacco smoking and vaping in public spaces. Thank you for hearing my concerns this afternoon.
Thank you. Please note the 5-minute timer did go off. We have 7 speakers remaining in the queue. No further speakers will be taken. Kathleen Libet, please begin your comments.
Thank you for letting me speak. I'd like to address the housing issue. The need for affordable housing is great, but housing quickly becomes unaffordable when a city continues to add fee after fee and focuses only on one side of the tenant-landlord equation. Protections solely focused on tenants miss the expense that landlords expenses that are created for landlords. The city's failure to analyze both benefits and risks has led to higher cost of housing and a failure to protect those who deserve protection. Landlords' cost for maintenance, upkeep, habitability standards, inflation can lead to landlords failing to property. Rules do not allow for landlords to evict probably just rents in response to market changes. Screening restrictions that do not allow proper vetting of potential tenants can lead to tenants with a history of failing to pay their rent or previously damaged property. Not afford the rent or forcing landlords to accept government housing vouchers can lead to costs that are passed on to other tenants. A healthy rental market recognizes there are two entities involved in the rental market: renters and landlords.
Thank you. This does conclude your time. Our next speaker is Madison. Please begin.
And what substances they avoid, because those are for a child's development. That's why I think it's important to pay attention to what the medical community is saying about cannabis use during pregnancy. And gynecologists recently updated its clinical guidance associated with serious risks, including spontaneous preterm birth, low birth weight, and developmental delay. As marijuana becomes more socially accepted and easier to access, many women may assume it is harmless because it is often described as natural or even promoted as a way to help with stress or nausea. But doctors are very clear that there are no medical indications for cannabis use during pregnancy or during the postpartum period, or in fact at all. THC crosses the placenta, meaning a developing baby is exposed during critical stages of growth when the brain and body are especially vulnerable. Mothers deserve honest information to make these decisions for their baby that's growing inside them. And if we are serious about protecting maternal and child health, then public policy should reflect the medical evidence showing prenatal cannabis use is dangerous and not go along with the marketing narrative that says it's not. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Hector. Please begin.
All right, the immigration front has stepped forward. The Supreme Court just ruled temporary legal status has been revoked for 1 million people. So anybody that works for the city who has temporary legal status, you just got fired for history. You don't want the city aiding and abetting them with paydays. So talk to the city attorney. That's aiding and abetting. The guys with temporary legal service has $1 a day fine to be here illegally. So if you have any money in the bank, you might want to take it out before Trump just brings on ICE with a big T. Their history, man. Get back on the boat and on home, man, before you suffer too much. Save your suffering for Somalia and the homelands like Haiti and all those other great countries. Please go back to your great country because the Iceman coming. We gotta change the song, the theme song in San Diego to Ice Ice Baby. And I love those cameras. They just put a bunch more down by Fashion Valley. The brand new ones, they installed about 20 of them. So if you're in Fashion Valley, we might want to go somewhere else. But there's a lot of cameras, brand new ones on the poles. They look state of the art. So I don't know who's watching those cameras, but you're being watched. So just the way it is. The mass rapid deportation is going to get better. There's other things that can happen. Trump's going to get all the computerized programs. And it's going to be pretty easy.
That does conclude the time. Our next speaker is caller with the last four digits 8700. Please begin.
Joy Asunyata. Our city needs a new vision that fosters all components of our budget. Dear public, all of you, each of you are at the very top of the city's organization chart. There's a cash fee, fight for a parking fee, fight against hate crimes, and lots more. Yet in my opinion, something is missing. We need a new vision for the great city we want to become. This would be the kick, the boldness we need to unravel and solve what is not working at our city's structural core. All of you are at the very top of our city's organization chart. Let's work together as one to create a new Let's work together as one to create a new noble vision for our beautiful city now. Love to all, and I want to finish with wishing all of you a really wonderful 4th of July legislative recess. See you when you get back. Thank you. I will speak this afternoon. Love to all.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ernie Casco. Please begin.
Ernie Casco once again. What is the main issue at Torrey Pines Gliderport? We, the people, are being forced to buy insurance not required by law and an access pass waiver to use a public park. This is insurance fraud and misappropriation of public funding going into private accounts, a racketeering operation which demands full transparency, stay and pay their own bills, operating like every other business in public, responsible to provide police reports that normally provide justice to the victim and witnesses who have been damaged.
Registered appeal. The council made a determination that work was based not on reasonable or rational based costs. The city appeal costs are now Ipsy-Dixit, and the staff report that the fees were based on contained obvious mathematical errors. I'm protesting these fees because it now excludes the common man. I can't believe that Democrats would set fees so high to exclude the participation of the common working man. Fees are now so high that it's the same as rent. Additionally, I've asked Ms. Fuentes to contact me concerning the appeal notice that is being sent out for appeals before the city council for quasi-judicial hearings. There's one set for the 7th, and the way it's set up is the defendant, the executive branch, gets notice and participation while the appellant gets no recognition. that whole notice has to be resent out or revised or something. It's seriously flawed and doesn't meet legal standards. So I asked City Clerk Fuentes to call me. Thank you, John
That
Stowe.
concludes your time. Thank you. Our next and last speaker is Judy Strain. Please begin.
Good afternoon, City Council. Thank you for all the behind-the-scenes operations that allow those of us who are on the work site today to call in and share some thoughts and observations because of the experiences that we have that are applicable, we think, to the decisions you are making. I wanted to continue my thoughts when I spoke to S504 regarding Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. And I mentioned I think that there's two sort of issues going on, both of which I'm familiar with. A family member who has a traumatic brain injury, a choice he didn't make, and it's been horrific for him and caregivers. And then on the other hand, another family member who's unfortunately wasted his beautiful brain because I think it's been pretty clear from the research that adolescent brains partially why marijuana addiction is considered a pediatric onset disease. And so preventing young people from initiating marijuana and other drug use is really their best chance for fulfilling their potential. A research that I think we may have mentioned before, but I think comes as known and news to you all, that what children and young adults see in their city affects how they feel about choices they make. Particularly, this research suggests that the commercial marijuana enterprises that are in their community substances, which is also compounded here in the city of San Diego because we have billboards. I mean, you don't see billboards perfect. And so, again, we're headed in.
Thank you. That does conclude non-agenda public comment.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. We will now adjourn to the noon recess and reconvene open